Asterix is a French comic series about a small tribe of Gauls living in modern-day France. Along with their silly pun names, they fight off the Roman invaders thanks to a magic potion. It's honestly tons of fun, and despite it never really taking off in America, it remains the second most sold, continuously running comic series in the world right under One Piece. It's a shame it never really got a foothold in America, but anyways, there's a movie about it. The 12 Tasks of Astrix is the third Asterix movie and the first with an original story. I wonder what that's a reference to. The film begins with an overview about the story of Julius Caesar invading Gaul, but there's a small tribe. We already went over this.
The brave people of this village. But do I really need to introduce them? Hands up, anyone in the house who hasn't met them yet. Oh, I see.
Okay, I get it, Looney Tunes joke. No one listens to me. The chief of the tribe is Vital Statistics. He's usually standing on a shield whenever his wife doesn't take the shield bearers to go shopping. There's Cacophonix, the bard. At least he was better than Kid Rockacus. Dogmatix, the mascot, and of course the main characters, Obelisk, the messenger, and Asterix, the warrior.
Adventures, on sale in all the best bookshops, have been translated into every language.
Salute! Guten Tag! Hello! Hi! Konnichiwa! Loche! Kopalako! Darminish! Rock-a-doodle-doo!
Asterix is played by Shane Barrett, at least in the English dub, who also plays the blacksmith fully automatrix, a role he'll actually go on to reprise in Asterix in the Big Fight. He also played the advisor in Total War Warhammer. He's actually the guy on the cover to the Smiths' How Soon Is Now, aka the Charm theme song. That's a photo of him from the 1958 film Dunkirk, and most notably to me, he also played Tick-Tock in Return to Oz. And speaking of robots, his French voice actor voiced C-3PO, and Winnie the Pooh. Obelix's French voice actor also played him in the two previous films, and his English voice, Michael Kilgriff, is also the general in the original Dark Crystal, which is hilarious. Also, there's Getafix the druid, who's the one who makes the magic potion that gives people Popeye-like strength. Everyone needs a little bit, except Obelix, because he fell into the cauldron when he was young, and it's like always on for him. The Romans in blue show up for their daily ass whipping, and they're starting to realize, we've done this so long, maybe the Gauls are actually gods. Julius Caesar thinks this is preposterous, but the Senate is starting to think, well, actually, they might have a point. Or at least they're demigods like Hercules. But Julius is like, come on.
Very mortal! Brutus, stop playing about with that knife. You'll end up hurting somebody.
I should have listened. So later that day, Julius rolls up.
Ave, village chieftain. I seize it.
Julie tells them the deal and says they need to complete 12 tasks to prove their godhood, like Hercules.
These 12 tasks, what were they?
He strangled the Nemean lion, killed the Lernaean hydra, caught the Adamanthian boar alive, hunted down the stag with brazen feet, shot the Stymphalian birds with his bow and arrows, tamed the bull on the island of Crete, killed Diomedes, conquered the Amazons, cleansed the Augean stables in a day, killed Geryones, stole the golden apples of the Hesperides, and set Theseus free from Hades.
But those were all done, so we got 12 new tasks. And to prove they actually did, we have Caius Tedius. Julie is so confident that they'll fail that he'll even give them Rome if they succeed, but if they lose, they take over the village. The chief didn't think this through, so they'll send the main characters to do it. Their first task is to beat Asbestos, the Greek, in a race. Asterix is a little confident with this, but it turns out Asbestos has a speed force. So gain a little bit of magic potion, and he turns into Sonic, being able to pick some mushrooms and flowers during the race. So Asbestos turns into a rocket so fast it breaks the background. But too fast and he gets right into a tree. So Asterix wins the race. Their next task is versus Versius the Persian, who's the master javelin tosser, tossing his javelin from Brittany all the way to America. It's Obelix's turn, so he tosses his javelin all around the world and chases Versius away to discover America. Well, pretty easy peasy so far, so they go to a wooden coliseum, where they meet Cylindric, the German, who knows judo. He actually gives Obelix a hard time, but Asterix figures a way to win is get him to teach him how to do judo, which he uses on Cylindric, tying up his limbs so he wins. Gaius is getting a little concerned, so he'll send them to the Island of Pleasure, giving them a boat to go over, and it's an island full of priestess sirenses. It kind of reminds me of like the Lotuses in Percy Jackson. They have a party, and we get the inevitable 60s, 70s freakout. Not the craziest acid trip freakout I've ever seen. But it all comes to an end because Obelisk wants food.
Of course, eating is a great pleasure. This is the Isle of Pleasure, isn't it?
He's got a solid point, honestly.
All right, we can provide nectar and ambrosia.
But Obelix wants wild boar, which they don't have on the menu, so they're leaving. I love this part because pleasure isn't just sex, it's pleasure in other things. And I feel like a lot of shows don't really get into that. Next up, they go to the tomb of Iris, the magician Egyptian, who's hypnotizing people and the animals. But when it's their turn to go in, Asterix is distracted more by his glowing eyes, which accidentally gets Iris turned around and he accidentally turns himself into an animal. Next up, Obelix gets that feast he wanted, with wild boar and a french fry invented thanks to Versius discovering potatoes, along with a large serving of peacock, a flock of mutton, a dozen egg Titanic omelet, a whole school of fish, ox, goat, veal, a mountain of caviar with lemon slices, I think,
And a piece of toast to go with it.
and a camel. But that's pretty easy work for Obelix clearing out the Denny's. As the tribe are practicing their Elon salutes, Getafix is thinking this is probably a little too soon to celebrate, as the others are going to the Cave of the Beast. It gets so weird in this cave it starts turning into Halloween is Grinch night, with plenty of bizarre things going on. But the most bizarre thing that happens...
Watch out!
What might that be?
I've no idea, but I'm really getting rather fed up.
The two end up in a Roman town, and Obelix ate the beast off screen. So their next task is going to be their toughest one yet, going to the place that makes you mad. They need a copy of Permit 838, so the guy at the front desk is old and tries sending them away before he figures out what they need and sends them to where they need to go, but they get lost. They go upstairs, a lot of stairs, before they realize they got lost and have to go back to the ground floor to go to window 1, but it turns out they need to go to window 2. No, window 1 is not right next to window 2. They have to ask the old man for directions again, but the manager shows up and sends them upstairs. They finally find window 2, but the ladies can't stop gossiping, but when they actually do, they need a permit to get the copy, so they have to go all the way back to window 1, but it turns out she's out for lunch, now they gotta go to window 35. They get a different version of the permit they need, now they gotta fill out this, sign this.
Sign this, take this here, we need photo ID, no we don't take cash, we need card, sign this, la 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 la.
This is the hardest task of all. This is me when I get my ID renewed. So after breaking the Venus de Milo's arms, Asterix has an idea. We'll fight fire with fire by telling the bureaucrats they have a new format they have to follow, sending them on their own path to insanity. Oh, and the manager had the form they needed the entire time. After a quick break for the gladiators, the next task is far more easy, using this tiny stream to cross a canyon. And watch out for below because there's crocodiles below, gifted from Cleopatra. I would joke the string's invisible to make it easier to animate, but honestly I think it would probably be harder to animate because they don't have a guide to where they are. But a little bit of potion and they make easy do of the crocodiles. How'd he get over so fast? Next up they have to answer the riddle from the old man of the mountain.
Far o'er the misty mountains cold.
They make it to the old man and see what's up.
Tell me, which of these two piles of laundry has been washed with Olympus, the god's detergent?
This one.
Yes! Yes, you have got it right. Sure enough, this pile is much softer, gentler, whiter. The cards do their washing with Olympus, which washes whiter and leave your hands so soft. Oh.
I wasn't expecting an infomercial, but alright. The gods like to shout out, but Jupiter is getting fed up with the Gauls. Also, Jupiter is played by the same guy who plays Julius Caesar, which is probably symbolic. He brings the thunder down, but the real task is to sleep overnight in the plains of departed spirits. They call it that because it's full of ghosts, and Obelix is having troubles re-killing the Roman soldiers. But Asterix wakes up, and after a long day, he needs his rest, and that's far scarier than the ghost. I guess Rome wasn't built in a day, but it was built overnight. And for the last task, they have to survive the Circus Maximus. And we don't mean clowns. The rest of the tribe arrives to join in a complete Roman massacre. Also, a chicken lays a Donald Duck. And I spoke too soon about the clowns. So with no choice, Julius Caesar finally admits the Gauls are gods, letting them take over Rome. But happy ending, because he has his own estate and gets to live happily ever after with Cleopatra.
And at last, back in Gaul, in a little village which was now the center of the known world, our friends reunited, celebrated their return with a banquet under the stars.
Have we really become the masters of Rome?
Let's face it, this is only a cartoon film. And anything goes.
Don't worry, Asterix, this is non-canon.
Anything goes?
This was a lot of fun. The cell animation's really good, the story's fun. It's quite funny, and I like that Asterix uses his thinking skills just as much as he uses the potion. Well, at the same time, I like that they're not afraid to use the potion whenever they think they need it. I feel like a lot of movies would want to have some moral that, oh, you don't actually need the potion, you're strong without it. But no, it's a tool they need to survive. If you're curious about the Asterix series, I feel like this is a perfect place to start. I mean, it worked for me. 9.5 out of 10. But let me know what you thought down below, as well as hitting the like button, subscribing if you're new, and hyping on mobile, very appreciated.